All right, my people, welcome back to my page. Please, I want you guys to join me as we listen to this interesting story from one of our brother. Makandi choosing. Listen and be blessed. This is for educational purpose, so that your brain will come back working normally. What's your brain in there with their brain box? This time, your brain will come back after listening to this night message. Okay, so join me. Let us watch the video.
Somebody came to the church and testified that a lion gave him a lift. A lion carried him to a particular destination. And when the lion dropped him, the lion said to him, "Bye bye." And everybody began to make jest of it, began to convert it into comedy, began to disprove it. But somewhere there, these particular people who are disproving this story actually agreed that there was a version of a Bible story where a man called Daniel was thrown into a lion's den, and lions were using their tails to welcome Daniel and singing for Daniel. The Bible told you the same story, the same egwonwa, the same fairy tale, that there was a man called Daniel who was thrown into a lion's den, and instead of the lion making feast of him, instead of the lion devouring him, the
They are
lion
all
began
the
to
same
sing
story
for
now.
him. You
There is no
accepted, you
difference.
agree. And now a man came to testify and says,
Bye bye.
the lion gave me a lift. The lion carried me his back, dropped me, and the lion said to me, "Bye bye." It now starts being difficult for you to accept it. Follow me carefully. Somebody came to testify that I was attacked by armed robbers, and they matched my head, and they sounded kayam. They matched me again. It sounded
This
kayam.
guy, you're funny
They
somehow. This
kicked
idiot.
AK-47, AK-47,
You're funny somehow.
and shot at me. He says he did not enter. You found the story difficult to accept. He says this is joke. This is a joke. It doesn't make sense. You are too intelligent to believe this story. But at the same time, you believed there was a man called John who was taken, and then they prepared they cooked
Nothing happened to
oil
him.
on the fire for days,
Sorry.
and then carried
Sorry.
John and put inside the fire, opened the pot, and John jumped out. Are you not an archaic human being? Are you not an Ekuke man? You are just a man who is complaining of a poisonous fruit while watering the tree that manufactures that fruit. You can't be blaming fake testimonies when the fundamental of the religion is built on fairy tales. You can't have biased mindset about people who are forging stories. You can't make mockery of something that the foundation of what you are doing is built on. It doesn't make sense, man. Honestly, it doesn't. Somebody come to testify. He says, I am a choosing. And then as I said, I'm a choosing. My what do we call it now? Any type of ridiculous story, it doesn't make sense to you. But right there where you are sitting, you believe a
How
man
many
called
days?
Jonah
3 days.
sat in the belly of a fish for 3 good days. In the belly of a fish. Survive in the belly of a fish for 3 good days. What are you saying? Are you normal?
Okay.
Are you normal? That means you are selecting fairy tales to believe and the fairy tales to disbelieve. You are a hypocrite. You are a hypocrite. I am a choosing has become a mocking something for you, a something of play, a something of comedy, something you make jest of. I agree with you. But now, inside your heart, you still believe there was a man who was called Moses who threw down a rod, and the rod divided a sea, and human beings began to cross the sea. The depth of River Niger, if it was
They
ever
mind them.
divided, is beyond 10 feet. How were they able to walk through that feet? It doesn't make sense to you. You don't want to think it out, but you are making mockery of
Jesus.
somebody who is learning. Every Christian liar is actually an efficient representative of Jesus Christ. Every Christian who tells lie is an ambassador of the administration of Christianity. A people
Sanctify
who
their brain. Let them
choose
hear.
to
Let them
accept
understand.
fairy tales as life realities. I came tonight to sanctify your brain, because
Of course.
if I sanctify your brain tonight, you will begin to make jest of Christianity, no longer the Lord's choosing. The problem is not the Lord's choosing. The Lord's choosing is actually a fruit growing out from a tree. Can you curse the tree and not the fruit? The tree is Jesus Christ. That animal, that's the tree. The tree is Christianity. Don't water the tree and curse the fruit. Don't water the tree and curse the fruit. Don't be a hypocrite. As we are growing in the days of our ancestors, as a little baby, we are being gathered in the around our mother's cooking pot in the night. When the mothers are preparing dinner, they just invite us and sit us down. And so if they sit us down, they begin to speak to us fairy tales. And so they tell us things like there was a time that the tortoise and the birds in the sky had a meeting, and the tortoise spoke to birds, and the birds spoke to tortoise. As you are growing, a time comes that by natural state of growth, you overgrow those stories. You come to realization that they are actually trying to teach a particular ideology using fairy tales. I agree with you, that has become a fairy tale. But what is the difference between that story of a speaking tortoise and a speaking bird, and a snake speaking to a woman, telling the woman to eat a fruit? What is the difference? What is the difference of tortoise talking with birds and other animals in the bush, and a snake talking to Eve? What is the difference between tortoise talking to his in-law and a snake talking to Eve? The two is fictional stories that was built to communicate a particular ideology. Why do you refuse to grow? Why do you refuse to overgrow this story? Why do you refuse to overgrow this story? Come to me tonight with open mind. I came tonight with I want to sanctify your soul and your brain. It's time to break out. I want to break you out from emotional dungeon. As you are growing up, a lot of stories were told. There were times when my mother gathered me and they would be telling me stories. Some of those stories even have songs that made it sweet. You will hear them telling you that once upon a time there were a kind of famine in the land of the animals. It will tell you that the reason for this famine was because rain did not fall in the land of the living for years. He says they have experienced maybe 3 years or 7 years without rain. They say things has become too hard for them because there is no rain again for 7 good years. And so they now send the vulture to go to the land of the spirits to go and ask, why are we not having rain? And they says, why the vulture is coming down? Fire caught the vulture, and the vulture became bare. That story makes sense to you as long as you are a child. But when you are growing, you overgrow that same story. Now, that story became a fiction story to you. But why then do you still believe that there was a man who was called Elijah? And Elijah spoke, and heaven ceased rain for 3 years and 6 months. Malabrahado Shalaska Hadaya. What type of story are you living for your children? What is the difference between that story where the land of the animals there was no rainfall for 7 years, and that a man called Elijah raised up his hand and stopped rain. When somebody here says, I'm a choosing, the fundamental here is, who are you choosing to be what? You are choosing to be stupid. When you says, I'm a choosing, you are a choosing. You are choosing to be stupid. You are choosing to be senseless. You are choosing to act, things that are supposed to get us angry, we make gist of it. Things that are supposed to make people angry, when things are supposed to make people cry, suddenly begin to make the people laugh, or make the people make comedy out of it. Trust me, that society is headed to extermination. There are things that when it begins to happen, elder says, no, we can't trust the future of our generation in the hand of this type of people. It will ruin the posterity. So this thing becomes something disturbing. We can't make gist of it. Why are you coming here to tell me that you are choosing? You are choosing to be stupid. You are choosing to be very, very foolish. Somebody come and says, I bought a sticker, I placed it on my gas. He says, since the day I placed the sticker on my gas has never finished. It becomes something disturbing to you. You says it's a lie, you disbelieve it, but you believe that there was a woman called the woman of Zarephath who gave Elijah her last meal, and Elijah gave her a miracle of a replenishment, such that oil never got dried out of his jerrycan. So by virtue of just pouring a little drop of oil was continually replenishing inside that gallon. The story makes sense to you. You agree, but you refuse to agree that a sticker made a gas cylinder not to finish. Are you not an archaic? Are you not an idiot? Are you not a fool? When you believe that there was a man called Jesus Christ who brought five loaves of bread and 3 fishes and fed 500,000 people. Then tomorrow somebody came to give testimony in the church that I have nothing to eat. I shouted, I am a choosing, I am a choosing, I am a choosing. Who are you? And he opened an empty pot and he saw a fried rice. You shout, hey, doesn't lie easily. Are you not mad? Do you choose to believe some and disbelieve some? How do you select fairy tales? Come out and be a man, or remain a permanent infant. You see, when Christians work to keep you a born again, the agenda of keeping you a born again is, I want you to remain a permanent infant.
All right, my people.
Validates
no need of
intimidation.
Going very, very far. I believe you have heard from him what he said, and I believe you have learnt your lessons. The story of Elijah, the story of John, the story of Jonah, and blah, 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 blah. This is the same story you are hearing from the Lord choosing. So, if you believe the ones from the Bible, the story of Daniel, the story of the Hebrew women and all that, you have to believe the story of, or let me say, the testimony of the choosing, the Lord choosing, according to them. You have to believe it. You cannot believe the other one and leave the other one, because they are all what? Serving the same purpose. So be wise. Thank you, and God bless you for watching.